Hi YouTube friends and family, hi Psychic Universe, I'm Lamar Townsend. If you're a first time watcher, I'm a natural, intuitive, clairvoyant, empathic, clairaudient, intuitive psychic tarot reader, and I would love to do a personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading for you. So contact me at lamartownsendtarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading. Or your own birth chart reading. I also do birth chart readings, so I would love to do a reading for you, a private confidential reading for you. So once again, contact me at lamartownsendtarot.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram at Lamar Townsend, like me on Facebook, facebook.com/LamarTownsendOfficial. If you enjoy this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and share with your friends and family. Now, this reading is on Raven Simone, and I was inspired to do this reading by the recent spin-off installment of That's So Raven. I was a huge fan of That's So Raven growing up, like many other 90s and early 2000s kids, and it is pretty much a staple in my childhood, That's So Raven. And it's funny because I've been watching old episodes on YouTube leading up to the premiere of, what's it called again? Raven-Symoné? I still have to get used to the name. Like, it's the concept is just completely new to me. Like, it's different seeing Chelsea and Raven as parents, and maybe it's because I don't have kids of my own yet. Like, I'm gay, but I also still want to have kids, you know, when I eventually find, you know, a partner to make that happen with, right? But it's just weird. I don't know, because I guess I'm just used to seeing them as high school kids, but I'm gonna get used to this. You know, I was watching it Raven's Home. I was about to call it Home Alone. I was watching Raven's Home yesterday, and I actually really like it. I think it works really well. It's funny. Um, it's missing a few key ingredients like Eddie and Corey and the parents, you know, but I understand I understand Eddie, you know, but I'm hoping at least, you know, Corey and the parents make an appearance. I hope the boys in motion also make an appearance. So, you know, I'm just so excited. And I'm doing a psychic reading. I just want to see what's around Raven Simone. You know, I've literally been following, I just dawned on me that I've literally been following her career since I was a kid, basically. Like, I saw her go from, you know, Olivia on The Cosby Show. Obviously, I wasn't around when that was actually on air, because I was born in 1991. But I remember watching her on Mr. Cooper, you know, and or hanging with Mr. Cooper. And I don't know what she was on after that. She might have done like a few movies or something like that. But then, like, I remember That's So Raven. Like, I remember when that premiered. I remember exactly the first day saw the first episode ever of That's So Raven. And ever since then, I was psyched to see a new episode when I got home on the weekends. So, I don't know. That's So Raven is an amazing show, and I'm so glad it's back. Alright, Raven, I'm going to do something different. By the way, um, I want to say that these readings are free that I do for celebrities, but I do client readings, like paid readings. I typically I don't do free readings, but these celebrity readings I kind of do to prove to you guys, or to relate to you guys more. I guess it's to prove to you guys how accurate I can be. Um, Also, it's to I have many different reasons why I do these celebrity readings. Um, but I know a lot of these celebrities watch these videos, so I really do try and give them some insight and clarity, rather, because that's what I do. Like, I give insight and clarity. Like, I know a lot of celebrity readers on YouTube, like, they just like to spill tea and dirt. And I mean, if tea and dirt comes out, I might spill it. But really, what I'm here for is to just put you on the right path, right? So these readings are free. That's my goal with these readings. These free celebrity readings. Because they are public figures that a lot of people know as well. So we can literally see it and track, track it. So whatever. Um, I might start charging celebrities though, or something. I don't know. Y'all can't keep getting free readings out of me, and I don't get anything in return, except for maybe a lot of views and some subscribers, which is cool. But all right. Anyways, I mean, I love my subbies. I love you guys so much. And I'm glad you're here, and we're here together. But I'm just saying. Anyways, so Raven, I say all this to say I'm gonna actually do something different. I don't usually do this in celebrity readings, but I really like you. Um, and I'm so glad that you're back on my Disney Channel. And yeah, I just really like you. You're a Sagittarius, I think. I looked up your birth date earlier, born like December 10th, and I'm a just December born Capricorn. So I love Sagittariuses, and you also seem like a cool person to work with. Like you're funny. Like you seem like fun, but there's also a serious side to you. Like okay, like let's get it done. Like, and I like that. I like that. Like, I like that you can have fun, but there's also a sense of okay, y'all, like snap to it. Like get it together. Um, so okay, I'm gonna pull some cards for you from the Archangel. Oh, no, not the Archangel. The Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck, Raven. Which is something I typically do for my clients, my paid clients. I typically, I use I use about 3 decks for my clients, my main clients. But for these celebrity readings, I typically just like to use 1 or 2 decks, like because it's like, they're free, like. But I like you, Raven. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull a few cards from this deck, and I'm just gonna see what messages come up for you, what message Spirit has for you. Okay, Ray? All right. You could see and gaze into the future. Who would have thought that I'd literally be gazing into the future? As I got older, I'd literally be a psychic. Like, I mean, I've always had the ability, but who would have thought? I don't know. It's interesting. And then it's interesting that I connected to the show immediately. Like, immediately from the first episode, I was like, I'm hooked. I'm sold. Like, I'm riding this ride to the end. Like, you know? Such a good show. Alright. Spirit, what messages do you have for Raven-Symoné? What messages do you have for Raven-Symoné? Spirit, what messages do you have for Raven-Symoné? My pink light would be a breeze. Yep, that's us. Okay, I'm gonna pull 2 cards for you, Ray. Alright? Let me be dramatic real quick. Have like a pause moment. Alright. Ooh, I love this one for you. You got Divine Magic. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. And I think this is around surrounding you and your new show on Disney. There is definitely magical energy around you, and yeah, you're exactly where you're meant to be right now, Raven. Exactly where you're meant to be. And let yourself receive. Allow others to give you loving care. Receive without guilt or apologies. This is the second card that you got. So, Raven, I hope you enjoyed those cards. I hope they gave you a little bit of clarity, insight, peace, or at least I hope they resonated, okay? And let's just see very quickly. And for this main portion of the reading, I'm using the Dreaming Way Tarot deck by Rome Choi. The links will be below where you can purchase them from my Amazon affiliate store. Spirit, please show me what's around Raven Simone. Had a card come out. Please show me what's around Raven Simone. Spirit, what's around Raven Simone? What are the energies around Raven Simone? Very heightened energy I can feel. Very heightened, like super heightened. Super heightened, super alert. Very alert. What are the energies around Raven-Symoné? She's a very alert, like very alert, quick. Like she's on it, you know. What are the energies around Raven-Symoné? What are the energies around it? It feels like it feels good for her to be back home, meaning back at Disney, back at having her own show. Like, you know, it feels good. Past, present, future, conclusion. And I've been watching a lot of interviews with her this morning, and which was another reason which inspired me to do this. You know, I want to say something else, Raven. I actually turned the sound down on my phone just so it wouldn't interrupt this reading because I know that you don't like phones on set. So, no phones on set during this reading. But it feels good for her to be back home, and I do remember her acknowledging that a lot of the crew, like the producers and directors and such, like are the same people that she worked with on That's So Raven, and I feel like that's why it feels like home, you know? The card that came out when I was shuffling was the Nine of Pentacles, so I feel like it's interesting because I'm not sure what the budget was for That's So Raven. I feel like for That's So Raven, maybe the budget grew as the show got bigger, like as the seasons went on, but I feel like the budget for this is pretty big. The budget for this is pretty big. Like I feel like Disney is willing to pull out all the stops for Raven in this show. In the past position, we have the Nine of Cups, and it's interesting because I definitely feel like she was when she was working on The View, it's not that she didn't enjoy what she was doing, it just wasn't what she was used to. It just wasn't right for her. It was a very kind of staunch, rigid, very uppity, a little bit bougie even, like atmosphere. And there's a sense to like be on guard all the time. Be on guard. It feels very shady as well, like shady, catty behind the scenes. And it just feels like this isn't where I want to be. This isn't where I'm meant to be. You know, it feels kind of like stuck. Like I'm just stuck here. Like, you know, I'm just kind of going through the motions right here. It's like it's almost like the universe or spirit or her spirit guides like putting her in that position. Like she was put in that position by spirit, by universe, and it's literally like the universe was saying, "Stay here, like stay here for a minute, yeah, like stay in this position for a little while, you know, just let us work it out." Like you know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of energy of just stay here for a little while, you know. But in the present position, we have the Chariot, self-awareness, direction, moving forward with lightning speed, with confidence and self-direction. She's where she's meant to be now. She's where she's most comfortable. Because at the View, like she couldn't be herself in a way, if that makes it. Like she could, but she couldn't. Whereas with this, she also couldn't be creative on the View. She feels very creative. Like I don't know how much control she had on That's So Raven. I feel like she had a lot of control on That's So Raven in terms if in she had a lot of control for someone her age, and for someone who had been in the business for as long as she had, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I feel like That's So Raven may have been her own, like her first show, or her first show to become big. And it's almost like she had control over that story, but some stuff she just had to leave up to other people just because either she didn't understand it, she didn't have time to understand it, you know what I'm saying? But it feels like here on Raven's home, she has more control, and we're going to see that as the show progresses. She has a lot more control over, like, everything now, like, and she's more seasoned now. Like, she knows what she's doing, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. She knows what she's doing. In terms of running her own show, in terms of running her own circus, her own, you know what I'm saying, her own creation, her own idea. Does that make sense? Because it feels like That's a Raven was, at first, maybe Disney's idea or a group of people's idea, but it feels like as That's a Raven grew on, Raven really took the role of the main one, kind of like steering the ship. Does that make sense? Six of Pentacles in the future position. She might have issues with people. She might have issues with, not people. Okay, she might have issues with higher ups, and maybe in Disney, higher ups, and like there's gonna be some stuff that she wants to do, like maybe topics she wants to touch on, uh, certain spins that she wants to take on things, and it's just like Disney is gonna be like, or someone who has control over finances, and like the higher ups are gonna be an issue, trouble for her. But they're gonna be creative. She's gonna be creative, and they're gonna find ways to maneuver around it, which I think is one thing that, ironically, and maybe people don't know about this, is one of the reasons why what made That's So Raven successful was they maneuvered around certain things. Because even back then, Disney was like, it feels like a lot of no. Like, you know, it's like you proposition a concept or an idea. Like, I went to art school. I went to ad school, actually, creative advertising school, and a lot of times we had to get up in front of the class and present concepts for advertisements or what so have you, or advertising campaigns, and you know, people would we explain the concepts, we showed the work that we mocked up, and then you know we had to get feedback from, you know, we had to it's like we okay, now give us feedback. What do you think? Do you approve or not approve? And it feels like, you know, you're at the hands of other people, so it feels like a lot of no, stamp, no, you can't do that, no, 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 that's not gonna fly with the, you know, the critics, no, that's not gonna fly with the audience, no, that's too um adult material for this age range, no, you know, kids aren't ready for that yet. Like, it feels like a lot of that, but it feels like that was another issue that they dealt with on That So Raven, and they found creative ways to get around that. And I feel like because they have a lot of the same people, and I also want to add, because they have a lot of the same people from the last show That's So Raven, they're going to be more close knit. Okay, so the people that Raven has on her team on That's So Raven, they're going to be more close knit, and they're going to the show That's So Raven at this point. The show at Raven's home at this point, and it feels like there's a lot of parallels between the last show That's a Raven and this show. It feels like as they went on That's a Raven, it became something much more. It became like a vehicle for change almost. It became That's a Raven became like a vehicle for um, educating the youth and helping the youth or something like that. And it also feels kind of like the show was cut short. But it literally feels like they're picking up where they last left off, where it's like, okay, we're back again, we have this vehicle going again, let's drive it and take it where it left off. You know what I'm saying? The world needs this more now more than ever, like, type of thing. That's what it feels like. I also want to add that I never picked up the card at the bottom of the deck, and the card, because I'm just so excited, I don't know if you can tell. The card at the bottom of the deck is always the card that of the overlying energies, the underlying energies. So let's see what that is. And that is, ooh, the Five of Wands, conflict. Mm, conflict, conflict. Card at the bottom of the deck, conflict. Lots of people in her ear. You know, this isn't working. This is working. This needs to be changed. I feel like a lot of people are actually telling her stuff about her stuff that she needs to change. Like she might be, like people might be saying, "Oh, you need to lose weight." It's like stuff like that. Like you know how TV is. Like the critics are saying, like if you did this, you would gain more audience here. Like it feels like that kind of energy. If you got rid of this character, you could gain more audience there. Like it, like you know. And it feels like Raven's like, oh my gosh, this is what I don't miss. This is Raven right here. This is like, and she has to answer to all these people, like you know, and it's not just these four people. Like there's way more people that she has to answer to. And Raven's face is just like, oh my gosh, this is what I don't miss about this. Is all this drama and nonsense, and why can't we just have fun and be creative and be funny? Why do we have to deal with all this, you know, BS, you know? That's what it feels like. Okay, so the conclusion is the King of Swords. Interesting. Uh-oh. I feel like there might be a character or two axed from the show. Like they may not appear in the next season, and they I feel like it's gonna be one of the kids, and I feel like the kid's gonna actually be very bitter and sad. Feels like a very masculine type of energy, so it feels if it's not one of the boys, it's like a masculine female. So a lot of people are going to be sad to see this character go. A lot of people are going to be mad to see this character go. I feel like the really what's behind this character leaving, if this character is written off, is backlash. It feels backlash. It feels like you know this character. It just feels like nonsense. But it also feels like Raven really doesn't want to let this character go. Let me pull some more cards. Eight of Cups. Raven doesn't want to let this character go. Eight of Swords. You know what? Raven doesn't even want. Oh, she's about to get pissed. She doesn't. Four of Swords. Raven's gonna want more control. She has control, but she doesn't have all the control. And I feel like the higher ups are going to make some decisions that are going to piss her off, or they're going to try to make some decisions, I want to say, that are just going to piss her off. Like, Raven's a fighter. She's going to fight for people to stay on the show. There are some people I feel like that the higher ups, that the. Okay, so you know how. I don't know if you know this, but I learned this in college because I got my degree in mass communication, so we have to learn about television and all that stuff, you know, and how television works and advertising and all that stuff. Obviously, to get our degrees, right? And one of the things I remember learning is like, I don't know if it's called the Gallup poll or it's like they have um, meetings or like they have like groups. I forgot what they call them. It escapes my mind right now, but they do this thing where like they get a group of people, they select a group of people, and I don't know how they select these group of people, but you know, these people basically kind of speak for the majority of people, I guess. And I wish I knew the name of it. They speak for the majority, and they kind of dictate what goes on in a television show based on these groups of people's opinions, based on these groups of people's results that they find. You know what I'm saying? My results find that this audience, you're losing this amount of audience over here because this character is too, blah blah blah. It's like that kind of energy. I don't know. There's a specific name for it. I can't think of what it is right now. But it's like they have these interest groups. Is it called like an interest group or something like that? It's like they have these groups of people where they just like they do, not investigations, but they do like research, I guess, on like TV shows, and they're meant to like help the TV show be better and to reach a broader audience, and they're to reach their target demographic more accurately. Like it's all that type of stuff. It's like marketing. But sometimes those people can be wrong, which is like so frustrating for creatives and people who actually have a hand in making the work. Because those people put limitations on the work. And that is very frustrating for Raven. And if that was very frustrating for Raven then, and it's frustrating for her now. The Hermit coming up. The Fool. Two of Swords. Listening to her intuition. Queen of Cups. I feel like Raven is going to try to have a talk with the co-stars, whoever it is, before. Like Raven seems like the type of person where it's like, hey, like can I speak with you in private? Like I just want to let you know that we love you on the show, blah blah blah. But there's some things that we think you need to work on. Some things we want to change about your character. And if things go well, we're gonna keep you on the show. Something like that kind of energy. Raven does, especially with a kid. Like Raven feels like the type of person like where she's like, no, you have to treat the kids a certain type of way. You can't treat the kids like, what I'm saying. You have to treat the kids with gentle hands. It's like she's good with kids. She's really good with kids, and I think that's because she grew up a child star. So it's like, no, you don't know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. Like, leave this to me. It's like that kind of energy. Four of Cups. Page of Wands is interesting because this child star could also end up being problematic. Like she might end up leaving the show, and I said she, so it's could be a she. I think it's she because I feel like it's this card came out, and I feel like this depicts the person more so than anything. Like the Devil card, the Hanged Man, the Sun card, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. For Raven, it's all about keeping the kids happy because ultimately the kids are the center of the show. The kids are the star of the show. So it's really about keeping their heads on straight, keeping them focused, and keeping them focused on what they need to do. Because ultimately, Raven's the one leading the show, but it feels like the kids are really also the. It feels like the kids are leading the show, but Raven is ghost like kind of like pushing them, like ghost guiding them. Does that make sense? Like Page of Cups, Ten of Swords, Page of Swords. It's interesting because I feel like the show's gonna become more about the kids as it goes on. Because her two kids have an interesting dynamic. The two kids, Raven's two kids, have an interesting dynamic. They're the glue of the show, and I'm sticking to that. So really, it's all about keeping them happy. But really, it's all about keeping all of the kids happy. Like, it's not just them. Like, the other kids are also the center. The kids are the glue of the show. The kids are the center of the show. And you're not going to really see that until you see them grow up. Until we see them, like, grow up and evolve. And we're going to be like, wow, like, we really saw these kids grow up. Like, which is going to be another layer of nostalgia added to That's So Raven, you know? For millennials, at least, or for people who grew up watching the show. King of Pentacles. Interestingly enough, I want to add that when we start to see the kids grow up, hopefully it'll get to that point. There'll be enough seasons where it gets to that point. I feel like we're going to start to see the grandparents more. Like, we're going to start to see a more family, like, and I mean not just, like Raven, Chelsea, and their kids. Like, it feels like like a like entire unit. Like, like I feel like Corey's gonna make a comeback. Like the parents are gonna make a comeback. Like, it just kind of feels like we need to kind of feel everything out. Get our foot down on the ground still, get stability to really make sure that this vehicle is going to kind of like be able to ride us out long term. You know what I'm saying? Before we add new people in, you know what I'm saying, or before we even add old people in, we really want to make sure this is stable and going to work. Three of Cups, Four of Pentacles. This shows Raven's baby. This shows Raven's baby, and it is. She's gonna fight for it. She's gonna fight for it, and it's gonna be hard for her to part with it. The Judgment card. The Empress. Knight of Cups. I'm wondering if Raven is gonna end up getting pregnant. And I wonder if she does. I feel like it might be an added layer to the show. Like, they might include her pregnancy into the show. Like, oh, y'all got another brother, sister. Like, it's like that kind of energy. Seven of Cups. It's interesting though, because whenever a star gets pregnant on a TV show, it's like, uh-oh, are we jumping shark now? Like, well, this is like a cliche moment. What's gonna happen after this? You know, it's like that kind of energy. Uh-oh, the Death card. Justice. King of Cups. Nine of Wands. Eight of Wands. I hope Disney isn't so not progressive that they would be really weird about Raven being pregnant on the show. Disney, you wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't. You wouldn't let go of Raven because she got pregnant, would you? Would you, Disney? You better not. You can't do this to us, Disney. You can't bring the show back and then don't do it, Disney. Disney, I'm serious. Disney. Disney, please listen to me. Ooh. Okay, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. I am sticking to this, okay? Disney, it would be in your best interest, and I don't know who Disney is, okay? Walt Disney, whoever the head of Disney is that has control over like keeping these shows on Disney Channel, you might want to like keep this show on as long as you possibly can, you know. Cutting it short will not be in your favor. Cutting it short will not work in your favor. It's going to backfire on you, Disney, if you cut Raven's home short. Because you've done that before. And don't do it. Don't do it. And that's all I'm gonna say. Don't cut it short. Any kinks that may need to be worked out, work them out. All right, that's what a network does. They work it out. They take care of their stars, and they keep their most popular show, most bankable show running. You know, that's what a smart. That's what I think. You know, I do. So I'm gonna end this note on this reading, I guess, on Disney. Not smart. Not a smart decision. Okay. Um, Raven, fight for your vision. Okay, because it is your show. It is your vision. Literally, fight for your vision. Fight for your creative input. It's your show. It's your show. And to be honest, That's a Raven was one of the best and most memorable shows on the Disney Channel. I can only think of a handful of others, you know, that actually made me laugh, like, and other people laugh. Like, I see influences of That's a Raven today, like, in just normal day, like, conversation with other people. I'm like, that laugh, that's from That's a Raven. Like, that look, that's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, That's a Raven is just a cultural phenomenon. So, know your power, know that you are powerful, and put your foot down. Put your foot down. Fight for who you think needs to stay. Fight for your right. It's called Raven's home, not the network is home, not the president of whoever is home, not the you know what I'm saying, not the director. No, Raven is home. So if you don't want to get with the program, maybe you need to leave Raven's home. How about that? That's what I think. Ultimately, I feel like Raven has the power, honestly. Raven has the power. Um, Raven has the power. Um, I'm gonna end on that. I've pulled so many cards, you guys. Raven, follow your gut. The show is going to be amazing and is going to help so many people. It's going to change so many lives and it's going to make so many people laugh. And you are going to touch a new generation of kids, okay? Really, you're going to kind of raise a new generation of kids in a way. Even though I don't know if you raised us, we kind of grew up with you, I guess, more so. Because I'm only like a few years younger than you. Like 6. So, anyways. Um, alright, Raven. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I hope you got something out of it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching this show. I'm gonna be watching Raven. Raven, I love you again. Um, you had a moment, and we're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna get into it, but you're back, and we're excited. We love you. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I hope you guys contact me at lamartownsendtarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential tarot reading. And I hope to hear from you, okay? Like me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll catch you in the next video, okay? Peace, love, and success.